Hello, hello. I'm Terry Gilbert, and today I'm going to share with you, I call it, It's Not About the Croissant. And you'll get what that means in a minute, but I want to share the concept of experience. We do certain things in our lives, like we want to make more money. It's not really for the money, okay? It's not so we can say, oh, I got this pile of money. You want to use the money to create an experience, maybe a vacation, buy new furniture for the house, have people so you can have people over for dinner. It's what the money gets you. You have a relationship with people. You get a sense of belonging or a feeling of fitting in, which is belonging or connectedness through the relationship. So it's not the relationship that's that important. We seek that out, but it's what you get from the relationship, that sense of being, that closeness, that feeling love, that belonging. So it's always about what's the result? What's the end result? What is it that gets you? And I share this, that a lot of times the Lord shows me through real life experiences different things so that I can learn and then tell others. So I was having my nails done, and I love this little girl. I go to her, and she's at a very high-end upscale spa. You walk in, they give you a hot neck wrap. So I sit down, I've got this hot neck wrap on, and then they ask if you'd like something to drink, and would you like some nuts? I mean, they just, oh my gosh, it's just, there's water, like a water sound that's very relaxing, and soft music. I mean, it's amazing. Talk about the experience. And so one Saturday morning, I come in and they make me some peppermint tea. Actually, I made the peppermint tea. I went and I made the peppermint tea, and I sat down, got the neck roll. They were putting that on me, and about to have my nails done. And I said, oh my gosh, this peppermint tea is so good. This is so good. And she's kind of like, is that good? And I said, it's so funny because if I was drinking this peppermint tea somewhere else, I may not necessarily even think about how good it is. And she goes, girl, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. She said, I was just on vacation a couple of weeks ago with my family, and I know she's got 3 little boys. Let's see, 2 or 3 little boys. And so she works all the time. So when she gets home, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's playing with boys. She's never taken care of, like most moms. I mean, that's their job to take care of others. So, I mean, she's in the midst of that. So she said they had gone on vacation, and for some reason, we got on the 8th floor, and the 8th floor happened to be the floor that had the buffet breakfast, and we got the buffet breakfast. And she said we went in and we sat down, and they served these little croissants. They were just amazing. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, just bread? I mean, really bread? And she goes, and I'm realizing as you're saying this, it's not about the croissant. It was about the experience. Like, I wasn't having to feed my kids. They were serving them. I was on vacation. I had a good night's sleep. I was just telling them what I wanted. And she said these were like the best croissants. She said, I almost got on the phone to call them to see what brand croissants are these? And so we start laughing. And I said, girl, it's not about the croissant. I said, there's this saying that I use a lot of time. I teach these classes how to connect and communicate with your audience. And so I say in these that people really don't care what you said, or that just doesn't stick with them, but they will always remember how you made them feel. I mean, that is like Salesman 101. It's so important that the person, when you leave an interaction or relationship or enrolling somebody in your product or a sales call, that you leave there making that person feel good. So it's not about what you said, what you're selling, what you're doing. It's not about you. It's how you left them feeling. And so today, the teaching is, it's not about the croissant. And for me that day, as I was sitting there with this warm neck roll, and I had her doing my nails and drinking this hot peppermint tea, and as I'm drinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And just the music. And I realized it is about the experience, because on any other day that peppermint tea would not be that good. I was sipping it, it was warm, it was free, it was in this pretty little cup. So how does this, I always, like when I share this, I want to like challenge you or charge you with what is that in your life? Okay, what does that mean? Well, first of all, I just want to base it in scripture. It is about being served, okay? What happens when you serve someone? What happens when you're lavished, or you're being loved, when you're being lavished upon, when you're building a relationship instead of tearing it down? How does this work in your real life? Like for you, if you're a salesman, let's say you sell a product and you make sales calls, do you leave that place edifying your client? Without, not even go there about the sale. Do you leave that place and they can say, God, when he leaves or she leaves, I feel so good. You know, how do you leave them feeling? How do you leave your husband feeling in the morning when you leave the house or as he leaves the house? How do you make him feel when he comes home? It's not about the sale. It's not about what you're doing. It's how did you make them feel? The next step, the result of how did they feel when you left the scene? So that's what I wanted to challenge you with today is think about as you go about your day, how am I being an instrument of edifying people? How do people feel when I leave the room? How do people feel when they've had an encounter with me? How do people that are in relationships with me, do they feel loved? Do they feel served? Do they feel edified? How do I make them feel? And that's the question for you. So if you enjoyed this today, leave me some comments. I'd love to know your thoughts on this or some examples of this or just feedback on this. So leave me some comments below. And thanks for listening. This is Terry Gilbert. Y'all have an awesome day.